Good morning, it's Daniel Pessar. I'm an attorney who's passionate about bringing landlords and tenants together to do more deals, and I do that by drafting and negotiating lease agreements. Today I thought it would be helpful to brokers looking to make more deals to explain how to set up a lease with option to buy. Some tenants out there, they say, spiritually, I'm finished. I don't want to lease anymore. I want to own my own property. Then they look out in the market, they see how expensive properties are, and they say, not sure what to do. I don't want to lease anymore, but I don't seem to find a pathway to own. So if the broker is able to get a landlord to agree to a purchase option, how do we try to make that happen? So sometimes the landlord is just not comfortable with the whole picture. Here's a little trick how to help move things forward. Sometimes a tenant, let's say, is in the market to pay up to $8,000 in rent. But sometimes if you're able to add just a little bit more, that the lease will say that little extra amount brings down the purchase price over time. The tenant will be willing to pay a little bit more. So you have, let's say, $8,000 a month in rent, but the landlord wants 10. So you say, okay, how about we'll do 10, but $2,000 of each payment reduces the negotiated purchase price by that $2,000. So if the property is, let's say, going to be sold for $1 million, each year that goes by, that amount will go down by 12 times $2,000 or $24,000 each year. You can even incentivize the tenant further and say, we said $8,000, how about you pay 10, but we'll bring down the price by $3,000 every month. And again, there's guardrails that have to be put in place sometimes for the landlord to be comfortable, but really the tenant is sometimes willing to pay more. Now, there's an additional benefit to tenant in an arrangement like this, which is there are some lenders that will view a situation like this where the tenant is occupying the space already and some of his payment is already going to pay down purchase price. Some finance institutions will say, this kind of looks like the tenant almost semi-owns the building already and the landlord is almost financing the purchase. We just haven't changed title yet. And as a result, sometimes the deal can be structured in a way that the tenant will get much more favorable terms from a lender when they finally exercise their purchase option, because the lender sees this not as a first-time buyer financing transaction, an acquisition financing, but rather sort of like a refinance. Maybe the purchase proceeds will be higher or some other benefit from the lender. So this is something to look into and might be a way for brokers who are excellent at making the deals happen to bring the tenant and landlord together with a lease with option to buy.